Manchester United versus Bournemouth, the final game of the Premier League season for Manchester United. Delighted that it's coming to an end because it's been absolutely atrocious for Manchester United nearly all season long. Really poor. I hope that it's a good summer. We can move on next season with new things. But going into this game, we haven't really got anything to lose. We've just got to go out there and give it a go and try and win the game, because it's all out of our hands now after atrocious defeat at West Ham at the Bowling Ground. It's really given us, pretty much for me, no hope of qualifying for the Champions League unless barring an absolute miracle. And it has been a crazy Premier League season this year with so many ups and downs. You wouldn't put it past Man City to lose and us to go and draw at home to Bournemouth and still throw it away. So we will just have to wait and see. But these are the teams on paper. Manchester United, no disrespect to Bournemouth, they've stayed up this season against a lot of odds. A lot of people thought that they would struggle to remain in the Premier League. Got a pretty small ground. We lost to them earlier in the season, just before the new year. And as I said, these are the teams that we've really struggled to break down, beat on a regular basis. You know, teams like West Ham come out and play and try to attack Manchester United a lot more than the likes of Norwich and teams like that, Watford and teams like that haven't really, and Crystal Palace, them sort of teams that don't really let a whole lot of goals in. Certainly Watford and teams like that haven't really let a lot of goals in this season, not a huge amount of goals in, and we've struggled to break them sort of teams down. I think this is going to be another one of them type of games, to be honest. And we're going to be looking to Anthony Martial again, who in about the last 11 games has scored about 6 or 7 goals. I think 7 goals he's got in about the last 11 games. So he's really on form at the moment, and he's starting to really become Manchester United's main man that we look to every time for something to happen. And obviously his end product's improving all the time, scoring goals. So he's definitely getting better. He is our best attacking option now, definitely. No one else is really contributing in terms of goals and that at the moment, apart from Rashford has got some, but it's dried up a bit the last couple of games. But Martial has been the one that's really been consistent. 17 goals, the most by a teenager at the start of a season in a debut season for Manchester United. That is absolutely fantastic. And he's got to be the forefront of whatever we do in this game. Now, I think Louis van Gaal's got to make some changes for this game. There's some poor performances. I don't know why he keeps playing Marcus Rowe at left back. I thought he was a quality player when we signed him. I think he's better at centre back, but Daley Blind and Smalling are the better two. I didn't think Blind had his best game against West Ham, but he's going to keep his place. Cameron Borthwick-Jackson's got to be at left back, and it will be Valencia at right back, because I don't know what's happened to Varela. God knows what he's done to Varela. He's not playing. I don't think he's played much since that shocking performance against Liverpool, but Valencia will be at right back. Now, in midfield, we're going to have to make a change. I don't know what's happened to Morgan Schneiderlin. Didn't have a very good game against West Ham. Has been taken out of the French team now. Hasn't had a consistent run in the Manchester United team this year. And, you know, I've got to blame Louis van Gaal. He's come with a big reputation, was one of the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League at Southampton, and he's gone to absolute rat shit here. It's very disappointing. Cost a lot of money. Maybe it is the consistency of games. Maybe next year, I think if Jose Mourinho comes in, I think he can get a lot better out of him. And I think he will be a pitiful player for Manchester United in the coming season still. So Michael Carrick for me, playing in there with Wayne Rooney and Ander Herrera. Out wide, you're going to have Martial, and he's probably going to go with Juan Mata. You know, I'm still not convinced with Juan Mata playing out wide. I think he's completely wasted out there, but that's what's going to happen. And it will be Marcus Rashford up front. Now, they obviously caused us a lot of problems earlier in the season. But, you know, I don't think they're a particularly brilliant side. I think Manchester United should be going into this game beating them comfortably. And, you know, we're not going to probably beat them 3 or 4-0. We haven't scored 4 goals in a Premier League game all season. It's probably going to be a straight to 1-0, maybe a 2-0 victory. But it's really disappointing that we've only scored 2 goals more than this Bournemouth team. And they've been without Callum Wilson, their best forward, who scored about 5 or 6 goals early on in the season. They've been without him for probably 80-90% of the season, and they've only scored 2 goals less than us. That's an absolute joke. I think we've only scored 24 league goals at home, one of the worst in the Premier League. I think only Aston Villa, certainly they've scored less with I think 17, but I'm not sure if many other teams have in the Premier League, which is an absolute joke, to be honest. So I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. We will have to keep our fingers crossed that Swansea, who are on a decent run, they've won the last 2 games, scoring a lot of goals. We've just got to hope that they can pull a rabbit out of the hat and get victory. They've got nothing to lose. They might as well have a go home. They've got their home crowd behind them. The last game of the season, they hopefully won't crumble and just give it to Manchester City on a plate. Manchester City have been so up and down all season. You wouldn't bet against them drawing that game, but it will just epitomise what's happened. And Louis van Gaal, the board can then stick it to Louis van Gaal and say, this is the reason why we're sacking you if we finish below Manchester City on goal difference, because our goal difference is absolutely atrocious this season. It's something like plus 11 or 12 or something. That's absolutely a joke from Manchester United. And we've got one of the best defensive records in the Premier League, even though I think we've given away a lot of chances this season. And still, it's the goals for that we just haven't scored enough goals. Anyway, let me know your thoughts ahead of the game. How do you see it going? I mean, I would just like to go and see. I mean, if Manchester City are winning at half-time 1 or 2-0, we might as well just go out there and just have a real go, try and score some goals, give some players some confidence ahead of the FA Cup final. So we've really got nothing to lose. We're probably not going to get that Champions League spot now. So really nothing to lose. Might as well just have a go for it, because we're going to get a Europa League spot either way. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.